Hello to everybody and welcome to another Elliott Waves on Cryptos. Today I have a special surprise for you all. This video is sponsored and we're going to go through, of course, the website and what exactly they do by PIONEX. PIONEX is one of its own, and I would say very unique broker that they are offering to their traders 16 free inbuilt trading bots. You have like a grid bot, you have DCA bots, you have rebalancing bots, arbitrage bots. I'm going to see the ones that I'm more keen into using, and we're going to actually set up live a couple of them today. Leave them for a week or two and see actually how they do over the time that we will provide them actually. So we're going to see how to set it up. Now, before we go, of course, into the charts and understand how I am using PIONEX bots in combination with Elliott Waves to make sure that my setup is correct, because guys, you cannot we cannot really exclude the risks involved in trading just because a bot does it instead of us, right? We always have to monitor. So I'm effectively using Elliott Waves to set up the two particular trading bots I want to show you how to use today, which is the grid bot as well as the arbitrage spot futures arbitrage bot. So let's jump quickly onto their website to see what they offer, why I am and I was keen to work with them, because you usually know I don't really do partnerships, and what we can expect from the bots themselves. So as I was explaining before, guys, PIONEX, they do offer 16 free inbuilt trading bots. Each one, of course, is used for different purposes and really caters for different risk appetites. I am going to go with GridBot, which what it pretty much does is just buys and sells at different levels. And we're going to use also the arbitrage because I'm a bit risk averse and I don't like to take it much risk. Those who are also in my channel and my group would probably know that. Now, why PIONEX? Well, PIONEX, guys, apart from all the great trading bots that they offer and the arbitrage boards and all that stuff, very interestingly and surprisingly, first of all, they've been in the industry for more than it's nearly 3 years now. They use liquidity from in aggregation, I would say, between from Binance and Huobi. But most importantly, they are licensed in the US, and it is actually the only broker and the only company in crypto that is licensed by FinCEN. This is a very big achievement. So you can definitely not be worried about your money flying with an ICO, like in an ICO style or anything like this, right? Now, what I want to do, I want to show you quickly how to set up a grid trading bot, and we're going to do it in combination with some charts using, of course, Elliott Waves. You know why that whatever I do when it comes to investing, I'm going to use Elliott Waves to find the right moment and the right place to enter. I've got a 2K over here transferred. Okay, so you can see El Professor from Elliott Waves. Professor, this is a name that I'm known in my group. It was not me who's actually came up with that nickname, but it was a few people from the groups. As you can see, I don't have any trading bots at the moment, right? But we can go ahead and creating a great trading board and also Spot-Future Arbitrage, and I will tell you how we're going to do that and why. So first of all, let me just explain you quickly the grid trading, and maybe this is going to be best done using a whiteboard. Now let's assume that we are looking at the BTC USDT chart, right? And let's just assume that we are currently looking, actually, let's take it a bit more closer to the actual market situation. This is our 40K, let's assume, and this is, let's say, our 50K. Currently, if I'm not mistaken, we are trading around the 43K, zone, I would say, right? Because it is a zone. Recently, we've seen a move down to 39.50, and that can be expected now to move higher. We're gonna check how I'm using the charts to set up the grid trading bot, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm going to use the arbitrage, which is not much related to Elliott Waves, but I have to validate with Elliott Waves that this is indeed a good opportunity, because we are in that particular asset that we're going to choose, but the choice is going to be based on the API yield as well as what has happened really over the past 7 days. Now let's just assume a BTC USDT here. If I believe that we are in a low, then I'm going to go and set my grid trading bot, right? The grid trading bot, what is it going to do? Is going to start buying and selling at levels that I'm going to tell it to do so. So if, for example, I'm going to put, let's say 1K, and I tell the bot, you know what, bot, I want you to start trading between 40 and 50 here. Okay, this is our range. And what I want you to do, you have this 10K range, I want you to put 10 different orders. Okay, by putting these 10 different orders, it means that we're going to divide this zone, this 10K zone, 1K each. Okay, so what will happen is that the bot is going to buy every 1K, okay, as we move up, and obviously consistently is going to also do selling. Okay, now if we get up here, guys, all right, this is why it's very important to monitor, and then the prices start falling, obviously our profits are going to be you know, to be affected, right? So it's very important that we keep an eye on this. Okay, what it does, okay, it's not a money-making machine. Okay, the money-making decision maker is you still, right? So what this does is helps you with being a bit more of a hands-off trader, right? You get it, you enter into the the bot trading category, which gives you, of course, more time to do anything else you want, but constantly we have to keep an eye on this. Okay, so on a daily basis we have to go back and see what is the return for the day. Do we want to stop the bot? Is it a good time to, you know, to just take this off, you know, close my bot completely? We are moved in a new scale because we have, for example, traded for let's say for more than 3 days above the 55K. So I'm gonna put my range between 45. So I'm gonna put my range higher now between 45 and 55. This means we need to close this bot and create a new new settings, new parameters for this. Okay, so this is how it's actually done. So let's have a quick look. My balance, and we'll go to trade. Okay, and we're gonna trade USDT. We can just go there just to jump off the actual thing. And what we want to do is, of course, you know, the grid bot, it would be a very good idea to trade that against BTC, right? So we're gonna go, hold on, BTC USDT. So let's click on that. Okay, and we are gonna go and click on trade and create. There is different bots. I'm not sure it's a good idea to go through all of them. You can find information on how they work online, but what we are mainly doing here is that we're setting up two different bots. One grid trading to help us with spending less time on the charts, and second is Spot-Future Arbitrage Bot in order to help us make some profit without really risking. Okay, because it's arbitraging. So it's, you are selling in spot, buying in futures, and the other way around. Actually, buying in futures, buying in spot, selling in futures. Okay. So what are we going to do here? There's two different categories, of course, right? One is the AI strategy, which is what they are pretty much a lot of people will actually start doing. And this is the manual setting. We are going to do the manual setting. Okay, so we're going to have to put a lower price and an upper price for this. And we're going to tell it how many grids. So we said earlier, for example, if that was our lower price and 50 is our 10 price, this is a 10K range. And we are going to actually use, let's say, 10 grids. Then we're going to see, and let's say we put 1K on this, right? this is going to start buying every 1K. Okay, this is pretty much what we're telling it right now. We're not worried about the grid so much, but we're going to have to do an analysis to see whether it's actually whether we're going to have to do 10 grids, 20 grids, or even 100 grids. Okay, and whether the lower price and higher price are going to change. So for that, I'm just going to take a quick few minutes to I'll tell you how I'm using Elliott Waves in order to identify these levels, okay? Because it's important that, you keep in mind that it's not important to use the bot more than it is important to have the right levels there, okay? The bot is just there to do the buying and the selling for you. You tell it where, okay? The when, it's a variable that is really moving. So let's go quickly on the charts. Okay, and I will of course here show you my BTC count, and since we are here, why not just come back here myself as well on the charts. Yeah, and here's what we're looking, guys. Okay, let me just go first on a clear chart on BTC. Let's go on the perps here. Here's what we're looking on the longer term count. You know that I'm looking for a deeper correction here, right? But regardless, now I am of the camp that this is an A, B, and a C pattern, right? Don't forget that, and that would be in the intermediate degree. Okay, so what this means, guys, is that I do expect more downside. Now, if you follow my analysis, you will know that I am personally supporting a potential scenario where this is a running flat, but only if we get to the 37.22.7. This is the 70% of wave B, okay? And this will really validate the truncation in wave C for a running flat. If we don't get to 0.7, it means that we cannot have a running flat, okay? And anything below is going to be an expanded variation. So for now, we go with wave C being here. Okay, so in the short term, I'm expecting prices to perhaps go down to 37. For that, we can set a bot because we're not down there yet. Later, maybe when we start moving lower down, or not, maybe we're not going to move lower down. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and perhaps we're going to see an ABC, and that is going to be A. We're going to get B, and we're going to get C, and this is going to be a W, X, and Y instead, which I have been supporting for a while as well. These two are very close to one another. Okay, so how am I using Elliott Waves here? Well, what is clear for me is that although we support the running flat, it is it's fair to say that we have the completion of a minor 5-wave move here, theoretically, okay, because 5 waves are in. Now, I am of the camp that believes that this is still a wave 4 and we're going to get wave 5 a little bit lower. But until then, we have a low, okay? And not just we have a low, guys. I want you to see that we have corrected down to the 62%, okay, which is a very important level. Okay, maybe it would have been a much better idea to do this video a week before, but we are still fine, okay, because in the short term, there is potential for more upside. Now, someone would say, well, look, that's my low and that's my high, and we'll be able to go back on the grid bot, set the 40K and the 44.50K and open maybe 10 trades between these levels, okay, and that would be something that potentially might bring profits. But I want you to see that between these two levels, okay, we are above the middle of this. So pretty much we don't give a lot of room to the grid bot to trade up or take profits much. So if we put the 45K, right? Now the 50K, just an arithmetic number, doesn't make sense to me to actually do that. But what I would prefer to do, since we assume theoretically that the 5th wave is in here and we have a triple bottom at the 62 Fibonacci, I'm going to use the sentiment, okay, of this particular leg to the downside. And most of you might not know that because you're not in my group, but if you were in my group, you would know that sentiment changes when we have the 50% being penetrated or actually broken. So this is the 50%. That comes to 45.50. Okay, now between 45.50 and the low, we are just trading exactly at this level where it tells us that we are neutral. Okay, if we are neutral at 42.682, it means that there is 50% chance we'll move all the way down to that zone, which is the 40K, the 39.60, and there is 50% chance we're going to go up to 45.51, right? So if this is a grid bot that buys and sells, okay, so what we'll have to do is calculate quickly this range and duplicate it to the upside. For example, if we are at 42.75, let's say, right? And our 50% is as 45 minus 45, 520, let's say. This is like around, okay, let's say 2750. We're gonna duplicate that and we're gonna find a 5.5K thing, which should be on top of 44, okay, of 42.25, right? So the idea is this: my low is going to be at 42.230. Okay, and my top is going to be at 42.230. My top is going to be as 44.730, and this is how we're going to set up this bot. Okay, so my lower price is 42.230, and my upper price for now, at least this is a short-term grid bot I'm setting up, is 47.730. Okay, 47.730. So we start pretty much entering from a little bit lower prices, okay, for a potential, because there might be a potential move to the downside. Now, what I'm going to do, we have to look at the grids. Now, because this is a short-term bot, okay, and we're looking at a range where is this? 47.730, 47, around here, right? You see? So this is where we are, 42 or something was 42.230, 42.230. You see this? And 47.730 or whatever that was, makes no difference for a few bucks. This is our zone, right? Now, we need to look at something else here. Okay, we need to go down perhaps on the 4-hour chart, okay, and see the average bars we have over here. For example, from the moment that we've broken that level, I would go here. Okay, this is January 2nd, okay, and down to hold on, where is the price range? From here to here, which is the first time we reached that level, it's an 11% downside, right? And at the same time, if we look at the date range on the 4-hour, right, we are looking at 26 bars. Okay, so if we have 11% downside on 26 bars, it means that we are looking at 0.42 or so per bar per 4 hours, right? So 0.42, and our range, it's nearly 5.5K. Okay, so we're gonna do 0.42 times 5, what was it? 5.5. Okay, 2.30. So every $200 or something we want to buy. Okay, so if we have 5.5 divided by 220 or so, 0.0, okay, 250, 25. Okay, this is what we want to set up here. We want to set up 25 grids, okay, and create that bot. Yes, and continue. And what we're going to do now, guys, okay, this is already starting. What we're going to do, we're going to let this run for a week or so until, of course, there is some change. But meanwhile, we have to monitor how this is going to play out. Now, at the same time, if you go here on the detail, you're going to see all the trades that are going to be placed. Okay, placed orders for now, obviously, you know, it's still waiting to fill. okay? But this is how I'm setting the bot. Okay, this is the first bot. Now what we're going to do, we're going to see a spot futures arbitrage as well. And why do I want the spot futures arbitrage? It's because it's risk-free pretty much, okay? Risk-free. So what I'm going to do, put the rest of the money on the spot futures arbitrage. You can use a rebalancing bot if you want, you know, just like this is like something like the top 10 or whatever, but yeah, this is to get exposure. So I'm familiar with all of you having exposure already in crypto since you are in my group as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a spot futures arbitrage, okay? Now for this, I don't really do much analysis as I did before, but what I do is I'm looking for the one that has actually, let's go on leverage one to see first what's going on here. What I'm doing, I'm going to check the one that offers the best returns. Well, we can check the 7-day APR, you know, if we want to do short-term trading, which the ICP is very good arbitrage level. What does this mean, guys, is that we are pretty much hedged, okay? So there is very, very minimum risk here in terms of what we are. It's the lowest risk opportunities that you're going to find here for a bot. So you see that the ICP is got a 27.5% 7-day APR, okay? If we look at the 30-day, ICP is still at high levels. If we look at the 180, it's not close there, but 180 days, this is like, guys, a 6-month period. So we're not really interested in that. We're interested in the 7 and we're interested in the 30 as well. So my choice, it's going to be, okay, the 7-day APR, or you know, the 30-day APR, which is, by the way, the same, right? So what we're going to do here, just to use a little bit, hold on, where is it? 1 second. 7-day APR, ICP. So we're choosing ICP, okay? And what we're going to do is use to leverage, okay, to minimize the liquidity that we are putting into that, and we're going to use the rest of the balance that we have here. Failed credit minimum required quantity is 1,000. Well, I will have to do a transfer actually and set this all up, but I will do it on my own time. The most important thing to remember is this, okay? But that what sort of API this offers for now, and this is the one that we're going to do and actually invest in. But the important thing is that to also look at the actual chart of the ICP, okay, and see, is this something that looks like it might provide good upside as well. So from a EW perspective, that looks like we have a low in here, okay? And if we will look at the volumes as well, the volumes are looking very good. But we need to also look at the channel over here, which is the, you can call it a base channel or whatever. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 over here, or A, B, and C actually most likely being the case. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You see, this is like a flat in a wave, an expanded flat in wave B. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and it looks like our move to the downside here is done, okay, and we're moving up. So with that being done, okay, we need now to come in and says what this is exactly, okay? What does it look to you? It looks like to me that this is a leading diagonal. So it looks like it's done, or we might get one more leg up and then finish, and then we're gonna go down, up, and continue higher, okay? And that might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or ABC, as you well know. But internally, we are more interested in the fact that this is 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 for now, which means theoretically we are finished. So we see more upside here, which it seems, you know, there is some sort of support or validation that, you know, using the ICP for an arbitrage bot, it's a good idea, okay? There is downside potential also in the shorter term, I would say, and perhaps even a bit more than what many people think, maybe down at 25, but you know, that doesn't necessarily mean it cannot offer some returns, because while it's falling, it will be offering arbitrage profits as well at the same time. So we are going to put this, to enable this, to trigger this, and we're going to see how that is actually working out. I think this is a great time to get into ICP for an arbitrage trades, and that's the reason actually we are looking at this right now. So on the expansions terms, we've reached the 1618. Okay, so maybe, I'm saying maybe, this is 1 and 2, and this is going to be 1, 2. I'm going to get 3, 4, and 5 for 3, then 4 and 5, which means there is no leading diagonal, and this is a 1, 2, 1, 2 opportunity, which of course means that we are going to get higher now, rather than just, you know, use this as a leading diagonal, correct, and then move higher. So either way, it looks like to me either short term move to the downside and then up, or it moves up now. I mean, obviously there is also the alternative scenario that the low might not be in yet, and that might be the case because we have found resistance exactly at the previous support over here. For some reason, I'm not sure why it does it. We have found resistance at the previous level over here, okay, which still keeps us under the radar. But when we do break that, this is going to be a very good indication that, you know, this is very likely to continue higher. So how this is going to be set, simply put, I'm just going to put 1K in here because this is the minimum on ICP. I'm going to do 2x leverage just to minimize how much money I'm putting in here. I'm going to leave the price gap control as it is, and I'm just going to click create. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to return and to see how both of these have turned out. Okay, so until then, guys, take care and just wait for the next of my video on YouTube for more of this type of analysis. But for now, BTC grid bot, ICP arbitrage bot, they are all set up, and we'll wait to see how they're going to play out. Now, if you are keen in using the bots I have just suggested for you, it would be appreciated if you go ahead and open an account with PIONEX. I will leave the link on the caption in YouTube, because the main purpose of these videos and the main reason I'm doing these videos is to assist you guys with your trading decisions, I would say, and the tools that you're using, because I do know you know, you're not all supposed to be on the charts all day long like myself and some other analysts and traders are, but you've got your jobs, you've got your things to do. So my partnership with PIONEX is something that I am doing with an appetite to help you improve you know, your portfolio by using different tools in the way I'm doing them as well. So I am into this with money, so you know that I wouldn't go at something that you know, is gonna cost me something. And in case you do, of course, have questions, you know, about the bots or anything, feel free to ask on YouTube. So until then, guys, take care and trade safe.